I will introduce the group member of Group 4. First, Cheng Yunhan. Second, Aisha. Third, Muhammad Izu. Fourth, Jasmine Chun Xiongji. Fifth, Mastula. And lastly, Hamizan.
Hi, we are from AFT2103 L2T3 Group 4. For our research, we are to collect the data for number of employed and unemployed person in Malaysia, dated from 2016 to 2019, retrieved from Department of Statistics Malaysia. Our group members consist of me, Yunhan, Aisyatol, Muhammad Izul, Xiongqi, Mastura, and Hamizan. The objective of our study is to collect a sample of usable data which comprising the understanding of the whole chapter of statistics and to help students to understand the theory on real practical. And our source of data consists of secondary data which is retrieved from Department of Statistics Malaysia, and the type of data that involved in our research is qualitative data such as skilled workers, unskilled workers, and semi-skilled workers, and quantitative data which is the numbers of employment and unemployment person. Data description. To obtain table frequency distribution, first we need to get the number of class and class width. Number of class is 2 power of k bigger than n number of sample. Hence, number of class that we obtain here is 6, while class width is the max entry minus minimum entry divided by number of classes. Hence, the class width that we obtain here is 195 after round up from 195.083. To obtain lower boundary, we first need to take a lower limit minus 0.05. So the answer that we obtained here is 14,150.45. For upper boundary, the formula is quite the same, just opposite. For upper boundary, we take the upper limit of the class plus 0.05. So the answer that we obtain here is 14,344.55. As for midpoint, we take the lower boundary plus the upper boundary divided by 2. So the answer that we obtain here is 14,247.5.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Izul Afiq bin Zulkifli, A198031. Today I will explain to you about graphical representation. First of all is about frequency polygon. Frequency polygon is a line graph that emphasizes the continuous change in the frequency. The table and graph that represent frequency polygon. First of all, this graph is about employment person in Malaysia. Start at 12 frequency and then it drop to 8. This graph continue decrease from 7 to 6, but the graph is starting increase at 7 frequency and 8. But for the employment, this graph show an increase from 6 to 9, and then it's no change. After that it get more higher to 14, and then after that it drop from 7 until 3. Okay, next graph is about histogram. Histogram is about graph that have represent the frequency distribution of a dataset. First of all, for employment histogram bar, we can see it start from 12 and then it decrease until 8 and then 6. But after that, this bar keep increase from 6 to 7 and 8. For unemployment histogram bar, we can see it start at 6 and then it keep increase until 9. After that, it still remain at 9 and then suddenly it increase to higher until 14. But after 14, it keep decrease from 7 until 3. Thank you for watching our video.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Aisha Tuamania binti Musa, and I'm going to present measure of the number of employed and unemployed person in Malaysia dated 2016 to 2019. So for the number of employment, based on the diagram, The mode for the number of employment is 14,296.0 as it consists higher frequency. The median for the number of employment is 14,649.6, which means that the middle for the data, the number of employment lies on 14,649.6. The mean for the number of employment is 14,371.2, which can be referred that the average data for the number of employment lies on 14,371.2. For measure of variation, the value of standard deviation for the number of employment is 14,688.473 and the value of variance is 215,751,261.7. This means that the value of data set are spread over a relatively large range around the mean of 14,371.2. The measure of position for the number of employment for the first quartile is 14,344.55, which means that 25% of the number of employment for all data is less than 14,344.55, while 75% of the number of employment is more than 14,344.55. The measure of position for the third quartile is 15,023.9, which means that 75% of the number of employment for all data is less than 15,023.9, and 25% of the number of employment is more than 15,023.9. For the number of unemployment, based on the diagram, the mode for the number of unemployment is 520 and 597 as it consists high frequency. The median for the number of unemployment is 513.75, which means that the median for the data of unemployment lies on 513.75. The mean for the number of unemployment is 512.94, which means which refers that the average data for the number of unemployment lies on 512.94. The measure of variance, the value of standard deviation for the number of unemployment is 6,624.437 and the value variance is 438,831,070.39. This means that the value of data spread over a relatively large range around the mean of 512.94. The measure of position for the number of unemployment for the first quartile is 510.11, which means that 25% of the number of unemployment is less than 510.11, while 75% of the unemployment is more than 510.11. The measure of position for the number of unemployment is for the third quartile is 517.26, which means that 75% of the number of unemployment for all data is less than 517.26 and 25% of the number of employment is more than 517.26. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hamizan bin Muhammad Sobri and my matric number is A28 1355 and I will brief about the section 4. Section 4 is about the ANOVA test. ANOVA test is a way to find out if survey or experiment results are significant. To make sure the data or we are calculate in a right way, we use the system which is using a Excel to make sure the data or the calculating are more accurate. So what we're gonna do in this section we are going to recalculate all of the calculation that appear in part 3, which is we calculate the mean, median, mode, variance, range, and many more. We also have to recheck the table if they entry the correct data in the calculation. Other than that, we also check the formula that have been used in the section before, using a correct formula or not. After we doing the ANOVA test, we calculate, recheck, and doing all of the ANOVA test, we determine, or we believe that the data that have been produced in section T are acceptable. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Junxiong Ji and my matrix number is A20A2119. I will talk about theoretical modeling. Based on the sample data test, number of employed occupation category from 2016 to 2019, and the number of employed and unemployed person in Malaysia date 2016 to 2019. The main equation has been formed, that is y equal to b0 plus b1x1 plus b2x2 plus b3x3. Y refer to the predicted value of the dependent variable. b0, b1, b2 and b3 are parameters. x1, x2, x3 are variables. So first calculate the mean and sum for y, x1, x2 and x3. Next, calculate x1 squared until x3 squared, x1y until x3y, and x1, x2, x2, x3, and regression. After the calculations of b0, b1, b2, and b3, the answer needs to be put according to the estimate equation. Lastly, y can be the number of employed, x1 can be the number of employed with skilled occupations, x2 can be the number of employed with semi-skilled occupations, and s3 can be the number of employed with low-skilled occupation. All these variables will be in unit thousand. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. My name is Mastura binti Azhar and my metric number is A20A1441. Today I will explain about the conclusion. We can learn how to calculate and serve secondary data from other sources such as the internet, books, newspaper, and so on in this subject. We are familiar with the concept and methods for calculating business statistics. Statistical thinking necessitates a careful study designed to gather concrete information to answer a specific question, and in a deep review of data models and conclusions which go beyond the observed data. Random sampling is necessary for making assumptions. Our survey findings to the large population, and random assignment is obligate the developing hypothesis about cause and effect. Then, with both randoms and a margin of error estimate, likelihood models help to assess how far we can expect a random variation in our findings so that our result itself can be assessed. This assignment teaches us how to use SPSS software to calculate accident statistics in Malaysia. This can also teach us how to use the software in our future career. Besides that, the secondary data sets should be represented by appropriate table which should include frequency distributions. And there are two types of frequency distribution, and firstly we have a relative frequency distribution and also cumulative frequency distributions. Polygon frequency bar graph and graph ogive were the graphical approach we use. It indicates that the diagram must be drawn and numbered correctly. First, the secondary data sets determine core trend, variance, and location can be estimated, interpret, and also ANOVA, as well as our entire calculation bit. Make us of this role between SPSS must be matched. That's all from us. Thank you.
That's all from us. Thank you.